Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for August 31st through September 2nd, 2020. How are you doing? Well, we are in a perfect storm of transits right now. So much going on. And it's kind of that energy of maybe the intensity of these different streams or energies coming at us can kind of equal each other out and be that magical potion that can push us through the keyhole into the new paradigm. So what's really coming up right now as we move into this full moon energy, the full moon happens on September 2nd, and in most of the world, in the US, it happens on the evening of, in the Western US, the evening of the 1st. So we're moving into this full moon energy, and it's about a glimpse into what's possible of dreaming a new dream. And so all of these intense transits are about getting us to see that and see what's in the way of that in our life. First, you have to entertain something different in your psyche, in your consciousness. You have to move towards that new timeline. And we don't really have a choice right now. We're being kind of pushed off the cliff, like the fool in the tarot, the 0 point, the coming in to there's nowhere to go but home in yourself. And what's coming up with this full moon is because it's in harmonious relationship, the moon and the sun are in harmonious relationship to Uranus, it's about our wealth and our abundance. So see, the supernova soul has been erroneously programmed to be in lack and shame about their light, fear of their potency and their power, and completely disconnected from it. And struggling in this world of 3D to try to make ends meet and find a job that works and get things to work in this dimensional frequency. And living in this lack, when the truth of the supernova soul, by definition, is massive abundance. This light, this experiences and understanding and connection to source that you've worked on for many evolutions. And everyone around you said doesn't have any value. These loyalty contracts, control-based relationships, telling you that it's something silly or not true. And what's required right now and what this whole thing is about recognizing, flicking that switch into that spiritual abundance. The resistance energies, the pain, the darkness, the isolation is all coming from resistance, fear, and guilt and shame around making this shift, around having the capacity to make this shift. And it's like I can feel this battle going on in the supernova soul around entertaining the new energies and the higher dimensional frequencies, but then disregarding it and going back to the old paradigm. So this is where we are. We're like, going back before and forth between timelines. You got to move into the new before you can see what's holding you back from the old. You got to move into the new path, some sort of direction before you can kind of see whether or not that path is optimal. And this is this Mars retrograde. It's like glitchy, like, oh, forward, back, 2 steps, 4 steps. Oh, what are we doing? And it's all about getting out of resistance. And the resistance, the rejection that you feel, the isolation, it all has to do with you rejecting your own spiritual light and your own spiritual abundance. And it's understandable because it's so big, So everything that you feel is like working against you, and the loyalty contracts and the intensity and the narcissist relationships and the world, the targeting, all that serves to right here, right now, in this moment, validate who you are as a soul and validate that abundance. So what we have going on is that today exact, we have Mercury opposite Neptune, and Mercury and the sun in Virgo, trying to clean up, trying to clear up, trying to sort out the mind. And Mercury and Neptune, both mutable signs. So it's like this shifting that needs to happen. And it's a shifting of our mind around delusions, but also the dream, coming into this Pisces full moon. The full moon is a reflection energy. It's an illumination, right? It's like clarity. We're just coming to a place of the beginnings of clarity and the gifts of everything that's happened in 2020 astrologically. Venus at these end degrees of Cancer, up against opposing Pluto, now opposing Saturn, Mars in square to Saturn, Mercury opposing Neptune. It's just like, whoa. And it's like squeezing you into that corner. That skin is getting too tight and uncomfortable. And that's the thing. It's just like, we're talking about a massive shift, a massive flick of the switch, a massive turning of the corner. But you don't do that in your life. You don't make changes like that until you're uncomfortable, But understanding that this is what's happening, and that it's almost like, when you have one big intense square transit like this, it's like, oh, okay, the pressure of that and this, but this is like 3-4 at once, And so it's kind of coming at you from all angles saying, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Who are you? What is the point of your existence? This is all coming up because we got Venus at those end degrees of Cancer, bringing up planetary grief, because it's opposing Pluto. So these are coming up against the wall of the structures of our life, the house that no longer fits us, the structures, the belief systems, the relationships, the contracts, the constructs we've been living in that cannot support our true work, cannot support our abundance, keep us in lack. So are you in lack because you're loyal? You have of your loyalty contracts? Or is it because of fear of your abundance? Or is it like because you feel guilty because of the light you have within you? Even though you're not allowing yourself to feel lighter and better, these energies are about moving into those higher dimensional frequencies. And what I'm finding is a subtle thing in the supernova soul of like feeling bad for how good you're going to feel. You won't even let yourself feel that good because you're feeling bad about leaving people behind. So here we are back and forth between a more optimal timeline and the old confining, straitjacket house that's falling apart. And so, like I said, Venus opposite Pluto, the structures that don't fit. So the Venus retrograde, right? This is why we're still working out that Venus retrograde, because it was like, what in the heck's going on? Who am I? What do I want? All that I've worked for doesn't seem to make sense. Where I thought I was going isn't happening. I have no idea what I'm doing and where I'm going. Disoriented, and now we're trying to get reoriented. And I do think that we're at this place of finally coming out of that energy when Venus moves into Leo in the first week of September. And so we have, but opposing Pluto, it's like, that house you can't fit in that house anymore. And maybe that's a good image because it's like, I don't know, I'm seeing the Incredible Hulk and it's like, he's getting so strong and he's like breaking his clothes, or Superman, and the buttons are flying off his shirt. Like that old house cannot hold you. And you're starting to bust out of it, and it's making you feel scared because of all the times they came for you and you busted out before. You're scared of that abundance. You feel the intense programming of you'll be all alone if you take any one more step towards that path of enlightenment and those higher frequency vibrations. You will be completely alone. And all those lifetimes of being exiled and disconnected from the group and the tribe, and where you had to be like, okay, fine, I won't be who I am because that's what's required in order to survive. This is the Chiron in Aries. And Chiron Aries will choose freedom, though, over restriction. And so there's an inherent deep loneliness that comes from choosing your truth, except that's just a delusion that we're working through right now. But it feels real. you know? And so this perfect storm is all about getting us out of the basement of the house that no longer fits, you know, getting out of the dark. You've been hiding your light, and now it's time to shine. And so then it's interesting because Venus is coming into an opposition with Saturn, and we're still feeling Mars square Saturn because Venus and Mars are coming into a square. You know, and this Venus and Mars on squares also has this illumination energy. It's about using the opposites to see clearly and to break out of the trap, you know? So there's just this heavy, intense energies of squares and tension and blocks and obstacles and karma and all that. But it's this perfect mystical combination pushing us through to new possibilities, you know? And so if you can hold that vibration in your field, that this is about a breakthrough for you, and it's the perfect energy to show you the perfect clarity to sort this all out, you know, use this Virgo energy to your advantage and see through those delusions behind the veil. And then there's the dream. We're really being asked to hold vibrationally and entertain vibrationally the dream of new earth with this full moon. It's like, if you're not here to hold that vibration, who is? And is this why you've gone through all you've gone through? And is this where you should put your abundance? Now that's interesting, right? Because we've got this like entertain, hold the vibration, hold on to that seed of possibility. Let yourself be present with what it feels like to be in the new. And then let all be revealed that needs to be still cleaned up. You know, Mercury in Virgo has an energy of like detached discrimination, right? And it's like, okay, it's kind of like you're just going to go almost pretend your life, you're like the organizer that's been come in, and you can just like with neutrality, just sort through all of the garbage in the garage and kind of be like, okay, you want to keep this? You want to not keep this? This goes to this box. This goes to the, you know, to the garbage. This goes to the giveaway. Like, you know, this is what we're doing right now. And it's interesting because then there's this, along with that, holding the vibration, like we're feeling it more and more like, whoa, this is a spiritual, profound experience we're in right now of that moment. And then you're sucked back into the darkest dungeons of the 3D Piscean age. But almost like a punishment energy. And this is what I'm feeling, the supernova soul, that feeling bad about how good you're going to feel when you step over, which means part of you knows that you deserve it and that it's real and that there's no other choice and that you deserve it. So this is good. This is good. You're making progress, right? But there's this energy of everything coming up that's the tentacly cords stuff from in the old house and the old structures and the old paradigms. And then Venus at the end degrees of Cancer in opposition to just coming off of Pluto, now coming in opposition with Saturn. And it's like these deep feelings inside of the supernova soul, like, oh no, you don't get to, you know, oh, it's right there, but not for you. And that's this feeling. It has everything to do with the South Node on the Galactic Center. Just add that into the mix. So Venus at the end degrees of Cancer in opposition to these planets, the structures that need to be broken down is everywhere where we don't feel worthy of who we really are in our star power and worthy of that peace of mind, worthy of this spiritual world that we really are bringing here to Earth. And that has to do with the Galactic Center in the South Node, and the South Node being what's holding us back from the past. And in Saturn, in Sag, it's like these energies of pain around failing on our destiny. And then we don't get to have a spiritual destiny. And then now you know why you feel so lost, because you're just wandering around here with this big spiritual abundance and zero permission to access it. Nobody around you will their role is to invalidate your spiritual purpose and presence and abundance, so nobody around you can like mirror back to you or validate who you are, what you bring. And so this is bringing us like kind of this realization that like, why would all this be? Why has it been so hard? Why have we gone through all this hard? Why is all the narcissists? Why have all this attack and obstruction? Can you let it validate your abundance? Can you finally receive, not according to what everybody else thinks, but according to your spiritual truth, and let your lamp be shown to the world. And so it's just like so much is hard. We could just talk for hours about this astrology for the next few days and heading into this Pisces full moon. So I hope you'll consider joining for the Pisces full moon activation. That's going to be tomorrow on Tuesday, September 1st at 11 a.m. Mountain Time in the US. And that's exactly 12 hours before the actual full moon. So we'll just be settling in, getting a sense of this. Like I said, it's like what I'm seeing in these astrology is like so much intensity, but it's almost like these arrows with the Sagittarius energy trying to come into your life, trying to get you back on your destiny, trying to get you to know you even have one. And it's so intense. It's coming at you from all angles, but maybe it's exactly what you need to see that there's a keyhole to see through the keyhole to the possibilities, because that's what we're being asked to do for this Pisces full moon is just hold just a little bit here and there throughout your day, this vibration of that kernel of what's possible. And, you come to this place where, you entertain, you study these ideas for a while, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't know. People seem to think there's this new earth, this new paradigm, this new, and then you get to a point where when shit's so intense like this, you're like, that's the only thing that makes sense. This is how I validated the story that's come through my individual sessions over the last 5-6 years about these supernova souls again and again and again. And it's like, you guys, this is all that makes sense. You're here for something way bigger than you've ever even imagined. It's going to be way better, way more amazing than you can even conceive of. So try to hold a little tiny bit of that in your consciousness and let that open the door to the light that you are to come in. It's nothing you need to earn or deserve. It's who you are by definition. And yet, you feel bad about it. You feel shameful about it. You feel scared of it. You're just so used to people around you invalidating it that that's just what feels comfortable. So big shifts for us here. And can you take advantage of it? And the way we do that is just to hold the little kernel of vibrational truth of something, new paradigm, And what does it mean that you have been given the gift that you've earned actually over many, many lifetimes and evolutions to hold this vibration? I don't know how special you are, how needed you are on the planet right now. You're leading the way. I know you're floundering, but you're really leading the way. You're breathing, you're here, you're doing it. And just little by little, hold that vibration whenever you can, that spark of light, and let this intensity just push you to the one place you only came here to go, into that spiritual abundance and the light that you are, and show it to us because we need you. So hang in there. Use the spiritual revelation energy of this Pisces new moon to hold that vibration, just little by little. And I'm feeling that supernova souls, you need to be alone. I mean, it's almost like you got to disconnect from all the outside energies for this one. Even people that you feel are on your vibe right now, you want to go beyond what's been possible for you. So you gotta go into, for this Pisces full moon, take a little bit of time to really be in your own insulated temple cup to really validate this revelation energy for yourself without judgment from the people, the energies, the world, the programming around you, right? Be in your own city of light, and then the people will come. So I look forward to seeing you on that live activation or the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.